They called Derek the devoted son at his mother's funeral. He stood near the casket in a black suit. He accepted every hug. He lowered his voice at the perfect moments. And then he read a speech so personal that half the room cried. He talked about the oxygen machine, the mint tea at 3 a.m. The night Carol squeezed his hand because she was scared, but Olivia stopped breathing in the second row because she had written those words. Derek had not been there that night. He had taken her grief, put on a suit, and performed it in front of everyone. 2 days later, when the family met to decide who would control the house, Derek made one mistake. He used that same memory again. That was when the hospice nurse looked up and asked one simple question. "Derek, where were you that night? Stay until the end. Because this story is not about a house. It is about the person who showed up when nobody was clapping, and the man who stole the applause after she was gone." Olivia Hayes was 35 when her mother, Carol, entered hospice care. Carol did not want a hospital room. She wanted the small bedroom at the back of the house, the one with the faded blue curtains and the view of the maple tree. So Olivia moved in, not into the guest room, not into a clean, quiet space of her own. She slept in the brown recliner beside Carol's bed with a phone charger wrapped around the armrest and a notebook on her lap. Medication at 6, water at 8. Call hospice if breathing changes. Do not let Carol panic when the oxygen alarm chirps. Derek visited too. That is what he told people. And technically, it was true. He visited when someone might see him. He brought flowers after posting a photo of them first. He kissed Carol's forehead while Paige adjusted the camera angle. He wrote captions like, "Taking care of Mom is the hardest honor of my life." Then he left before dinner. Olivia never corrected him online. She was too tired to fight a performance. But Elaine Brooks, the hospice nurse, noticed. Elaine noticed who answered the calls, who knew the medication schedule, who could hear fear in Carol's breathing before the machine even beeped. And she noticed Derek for a different reason. He did not like being corrected. One afternoon, Derek tried to move Carol into the living room for a family photo. Elaine told him Carol was exhausted and needed rest. Derek smiled like Elaine was staff in his way. "We know what my mother needs," he said. Elaine looked at Olivia, then back at Derek. "No, Olivia knows what your mother needs. You just arrived." From that day on, Derek hated Elaine. He called her cold. He said she had an attitude. He told Martin, his father, that Olivia was turning the nurse against him. Olivia did not answer. She had learned that in her family, defending herself only gave Derek more material. But the tension got worse. 3 nights before Carol died, the oxygen machine alarm went off just after 3 a.m. Carol woke up confused and terrified. Olivia called Elaine, held the phone to her ear, and followed every instruction. Mint tea, low light, slow breathing. Do not crowd her. Do not panic. Carol squeezed Olivia's hand until the alarm stopped. Then she whispered, "You always come back." The next morning, Olivia wrote those words in a notebook because she did not want to lose them. Carol saw the page. She touched the edge of it and said, "Keep that." Later, before her final paperwork was completed, Carol gave Elaine permission to confirm her primary caregiver to the attorney if the family ever disputed it. Elaine asked why. Carol looked toward the hallway, where Derek's voice was already getting loud on the phone. "Because after I'm gone," Carol said, "some people will remember themselves better than they remember me." Carol died on a Thursday morning. By Saturday, the house was full of relatives, casseroles, folded chairs, and people saying Derek had been so strong. He did not correct them. He leaned into it. At the funeral, Derek walked to the microphone with folded papers in his hand. Olivia recognized the first line before he finished the sentence. The oxygen machine sounded louder in the dark. Her stomach turned. That was her line. From her notebook, from the morning after the worst night. Derek kept reading. He spoke about mint tea at 3 a.m. He spoke about Carol squeezing his hand. He spoke about being the person who sat beside her when she was afraid. People cried. Martin cried. Paige touched Derek's back like she was proud of him. Olivia sat still. She could have stood up. She could have shouted. But grief had taken her voice, and Derek knew it. After the service, he hugged people near the door and let them tell him he was a good son. When Olivia walked past, he leaned close enough that only she could hear. "Don't start something today," he said. "Let Mom have one peaceful day." That was Derek's talent. He could steal the knife, then accuse you of bleeding too loudly. 2 days later, Martin called a family meeting at the house. Not to ask how Olivia was sleeping, not to thank her, to decide what happened next. Derek arrived with Paige and a folder. He said the house needed one clear decision-maker. He said Olivia was emotional. He said she had done a lot, but Derek had a family, a mortgage, and the ability to manage assets. Olivia stared at him. "You want Mom's house?" Derek sighed. "I want what makes sense." Then he made it uglier. "You're not the only one who was there, Liv. Everyone heard me at the funeral. Mom knew who stayed with her when it mattered." The room went quiet. That was when the doorbell rang. Elaine stood on the porch with a blue binder and a sealed plastic folder. She was not there to fight. She was there because Carol's attorney had asked her to deliver the caregiver verification documents Carol had authorized. Derek's face tightened the moment he saw her. "You have got to be kidding me," he said. Elaine stepped inside anyway. "I'm here for Mr. Hayes and the attorney's file." Derek laughed. "Great, the nurse with the attitude." Elaine did not look at him, until he said one sentence too many. "I held my mother's hand that night. I was there when the oxygen machine scared her." Elaine slowly turned. "Derek," she said, "where were you that night?" Derek blinked. "What?" Elaine placed the blue binder on the dining table. "The oxygen alarm incident was logged at 3:12 a.m. I was the nurse on call." Paige stopped moving. Martin looked at Olivia. Elaine opened the binder. The log was not dramatic. That made it worse. It was calm, clinical, specific. 3:12 a.m., oxygen alarm. Olivia called hospice line. Carol frightened and disoriented. 3:18 a.m. Olivia followed breathing instructions. Prepared mint tea. 3:41 a.m. Carol settled. Olivia remained at bedside. 7:05 a.m. Olivia reported Carol slept holding her hand. Elaine turned one page back. Derek visit. 22 minutes. Took photo. Left before medication review. Another page. Derek called. Said he might come Saturday. Did not arrive. Another. Derek requested group photo. Nurse advised against moving patient. Derek became argumentative. Nobody spoke. Derek's face had gone red. "This is ridiculous. That log doesn't mean I didn't care." Elaine's voice stayed even. "No one said that, but you said you were there that night. You were not." Then she opened the sealed folder. Inside was a photocopy of Olivia's handwritten page. Carol had kept it. At the bottom, in Carol's shaky handwriting, was one note. "Olivia wrote this after one of my hardest nights. She remembers what others never saw. That was all. No accusation, just the truth, and it was enough." The attorney's file changed the room. Carol had not cut Derek out. That would have been too easy for him to twist. He would have called Olivia greedy. He would have called Carol confused. He would have called himself betrayed. Instead, Carol had done something cleaner. Derek received a fixed inheritance. Martin received the accounts Carol had already discussed with him, and the house went into a caregiver trust. The person verified by Hospice as Carol's primary caregiver would have the right to live in the house, decide when it could be sold, and approve any family access to Carol's remaining personal belongings. That person was Olivia. Derek shoved his chair back. So she gets control because she played nurse. Elaine finally looked tired. She gets control because she did the work. Olivia did not smile. She did not need to. Derek turned to Martin. "Dad, say something." Martin opened his mouth, then closed it. Because for once, silence could not protect Derek. It only exposed everyone who had let him perform. Olivia stayed in the house that winter. She did not turn Carol's room into storage. She left the blue curtains up. She kept the notebook in the drawer beside the recliner. 3 weeks later, Derek texted her, "You humiliated me." Olivia read it twice. Then she typed one sentence, "No. You borrowed a night you never lived." She did not send anything else. Because that was the thing about people like Derek. They did not only want the inheritance, they wanted the story. They wanted the room to cry for a version of them that never existed. But some truths do not need a speech. Sometimes they only need a nurse, a logbook, and one person brave enough to stop pretending. If you were Olivia, would you ever let Derek back into that house? Or would you close the door for good? Comment your answer below. And remember, the loudest person in the family is not always the one who loved the most. Sometimes they were just closest to the microphone.